in the way Fulton Sheen taught, I mean, I would assume in the classroom. I have no experience of him in the classroom, but through his television shows, through his writings, through his books, some which are more kind of not academic, but like less spiritual and more kind of theological, like dogmatic, and then some that are more spiritual.
Right.
You can see that there's that he teaches with a passion because he believes ardently in like the dignity of the human intellect, of our in our ability to come to know, and not only know but to love God, and that there's like this passion and fire because he wants people to know Jesus Christ and to live a life like his show in a book too. That life is worth living. You know, like this idea that we're made to know and to love and to live with Christ, and you see this passion for that alive in all of these facets, from his politics to his media, his preaching, his teaching, all of it. It's contagious. In
the
a way.
form we talk about, you know, there's a lot of jokes around about Fulton Sheen. He was America's bishop or America's prelate, and you know, he had such an influence. But look at how, like, he's not an idiot. Like, he knew what like the status he had, you know. But how did he wield that? Well, he set himself and devoted himself to forming the intellect of the American people,
right,
and forming it in union with Christ, who is the truth,
right.
Like that was so much of his work. He spent so much of his days in writing and being on TV and even in the classroom. But he was, like you said, he had a passion. He was utterly convicted of the formation of the intellect in union with Jesus Christ leads to our salvation. Yep. And helps us to understand how to lead this life and to receive it for the gift that it is. But he didn't downplay that. He wasn't trying to, you know, kind of sanitize this in whatever way. But he elevated the intellect of all the people that listened to him, that read his works and things like that. So I think it's really a good point that you bring up, is like, he was such a devoted teacher, and that he respected the intellect of every single person and devoted himself to forming that and elevating them to Christ himself.
And then also, it's not expressly about the priesthood, but his life of Christ.
Yes,
his biography of sort of Christ. Yeah, I love it. It's a chunker. It's a big read, but it's like I think it's a great Lenten read because it walks through
the
all
entire
like
life
the
of
scriptures
Jesus,
and the life of Jesus. But those two stand out as like moments or things that highlight his love of Christ the priest and his participation in that priesthood and the living of that vocation. You know, you were mentioning as teacher, and we really see him as teacher because in front of the camera, this is what he was doing, and in front of the classroom, but also in his sacramental like ministry. You know, his offering of the sacrifice of the Mass, his exercising his priesthood in this way. It's a palpable reality that he believes in the priesthood and the efficacy of the priesthood. And it's an inspiring reality because I think currently in the current climate of the church, there isn't this like call to excellency and greatness in the priesthood and the beauty of the priesthood. Yeah. It's kind of been deadened over the last decade, I think. So he's somebody in the sort of American milieu that I think is inspiring in this way. Yeah, makes you. I mean, I want to be a priest. I'm a priest, but like I was going to say, makes you want to be a priest. And be a good priest, or at least try to be a good priest. Yeah.
Father Jacob-Bertrand, would you say that you're optimistic about this subscription appeal?
No.
Would you say that you're optimistic about anything?
No.
Well, I am. Folks, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. Cheers.